Beauty is but skin deep, ugly lies the bone. Beauty dies, fades away, but ugly holds its own. Out of all the performances we saw in arts in New York City, it was Lindsay Ferrantino's Ugly Lies the Bone that indisputably stood out to me. As the first play I would ever see outside of school productions, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it would be more like a musical, because somehow, growing up, I'd smashed play and musical into a single concept, and that concept was ridiculously elaborate set pieces and musical numbers and people on a sterile promontory like in Hamlet. So, Ugly Lies the Bone was special because it didn't have any of those. Everything happened in the same compact 80s Florida living room, right before your eyes. It was the kind of space I felt entrapped in because everything was so close. If I just stretched out my arm, I could have touched the actors there. Touched Jess's Walker, the hideously ugly couch that all the characters seemed attracted to at some point or another. The characters, well, the space accompanied its characters. The characters dominated the space, larger than life. In movies, I identify the people behind actors. It's a perk if a certain actor that I like is in the movie. In Ugly Lies the Bone, though, it was different. I tend to live under a rock in all things entertainment, so I didn't know Mamie Gummer or Karen Graves. I had no idea that Former was Meryl Streep's daughter, and maybe that was why I found it so enjoyable, because I didn't have to associate them with anyone else. Stevie, Casey, Jess, Kelvin the voice, I never saw their actors bleed through for a moment. Every drop of poison that Jess flung from her pale, writhing, scarred lips, every falsely cheery note that hung suffocating in the air with Casey's frozen smile, every blunder Kelvin and Stevie made, I was invested in. I melted in. I understood.
In the bus going home from the cafe Friday night, before I geared myself to speak to my friend, I took a deep breath, and with a tear flowing down my right cheek, I too eventually understood something, but not after posing myself one question. Who am I? What's my name? Jafar Sung Ali, I say to myself, but what is my name? What does it mean to me? Who am I? I'm the hook on the cord of a tow truck pulling a car with its parking brake on. Stay with the truck, and the parking brake breaks apart, never to be used again. Stay with the car, and I break off from the truck, and it drives away, never to be seen again. What do I choose? Is the choice even mine to make when I, the hook, am still relatively new and don't even know that I'm a hook, much less what a hook even does with its life? Do I stay attached to the truck, its body all black except for the windshield, its tire screeches the recitation of surahs and hadiths from the Quran and the Prophets, and its skid marks after a faulty start, the residue of bombs and bodies blown up at the behest of a faulty believer? And as a result, I'm forced to accept that when the truck drives away and I begin to flutter in the wind, the blood of the innocent will inhabit my shadow? Or do I break away and let my greater sense of purpose fall along with my now useless body? The gap of cement between me and the car of my Filipino heritage, representing Tagalog never spoken, pansi never made, caballos never ridden, and a flag never flown? What does a hook do when it can no longer do what it has always been defined to do? Does it just stay there and rust away into the cement of every other forgotten useless piece of metal, paper, bullet, or flour? Or does it wait until there's a wind strong enough to blow it somewhere it might actually belong? Maybe both of these will happen to the hook. Maybe both of these will happen to me too. However, over the years, I've come to realize something. That hook has tried and failed to be a hook, but even if it never even knew it was a hook in the first place, it is still a hook. And as I sit in this poet's cafe, the letters of their words carrying a piece of themselves along as they waltz into the atmosphere, I realize that my own cheers carry a piece of myself as well to be their partner. And as such, I, as someone who has trouble breathing life into his breaths and half the time is only able to manifest himself through the act of not breathing, am somebody too.